Hi everyone and welcome back to the Monday Moan. I am of course Una of Little O Nutrition, and today's Monday Moan is less of a moan and more of a call to action. So today I'm going to be sharing some figures and some stats from the wellness industry. So when I read these stats I was furious, and I'm hoping that by the end of this video you will be too. Why am I saying that? Well, because when we get angry, that's when we make noise. And when we all make noise together, that is when change happens. So let's get straight into some figures. So first of all, I want to talk about the cost of wellness. So I've heard loads of times on social media that the diet industry is worth an estimated $65 billion per year. But this week I found some statistics that say it's a lot higher than that. So I'm going to show you some figures right now. So the total cost of the wellness industry is estimated at $3.7 trillion per year. And that is going up and up every single year. So let's talk about some of these figures in a little bit more detail. So first of all, we've got the beauty industry, right? So beauty and anti-aging is estimated at $999 billion per year. Now, what annoys me about this one the most is, of course, I've talked before about why I don't like the whole anti-aging thing, and how we should, embrace the change. Aging is part of living. But the thing with beauty mixed in with that is the beauty industry is not necessary for health either. And in fact, nothing that's listed on this page is necessary for health. So beauty for me, that's about vanity. And I don't mean vanity as in, oh, I love myself, I'm going to wear makeup. I mean vanity as in, it's about aesthetics and wanting to look better. But, the word beauty is about how we look. You don't have to wear makeup to have beauty. We are all born, with the same basic set of human genes. And I think we all look pretty okay. And is it worth $999 billion a year to look a fraction different to what we look now? I mean, I don't think so. Let's move on then to the next biggest one on my list, which is nutrition and weight loss at $648 billion per year. Now, nutrition that is mentioned in here is not nutrition as in my kind of nutrition. This is nutrition as in protein supplements, as in diets, as in shakes and slim fast bars and all that kind of pseudo nutrition. And it's just, again, not necessary for health. These things in here, remember this number, remember 648 billion on nutrition and weight loss, because you're going to get more angry, I promise. Let's go next to fitness. So fitness, 542 billion a year. Again, fitness that's mentioned in here, this spend is again unnecessary for health. Yes, movement and exercise is really important for health. We know that. We really know that. All the research says it is. But fitness in here is about gym memberships and expensive equipment and going to classes and all that kind of stuff. And that's not necessary for health. We were born with the innate ability to move. You will notice if you've ever been around an infant around the age of 1, they make moves to crawl and to walk and to move all by themselves. And yes, nowadays we tend to move them along a little bit more, but they would make that move anyway. It is inbuilt in us to want to move. We were originally creatures that had to run, that we had to walk places to find food. We were nomads. We were not built to settle in one place necessarily and, kind of stay in the confines of our own little worlds. So walk. Walking is free. Run if you want. Even if you want to do some of the kind of like fitness things that are around these days, like yoga or Pilates or whatever, everything is on YouTube. You can find a free video there and, just bring a towel and put it on the ground. You don't need an expensive yoga mat because damn, they're expensive. So yeah, fitness, 542 billion basically wasted. Let's move on, right? So the last one I wanted to talk about in detail is complementary and alternative medicine, which is at 199 billion a year. So why do I have an issue with this one? Well, what complementary and alternative medicine takes in is a huge range of things, but what I instantly think of are treatments like homeopathy, like acupuncture, and those types of treatments have no evidence base. They don't help you actually heal or get better, and therefore they're not necessary for health. Now, necessary. A lot of people enjoy these therapies, these treatments, and they're kind of self-care, they're me time, they're about relaxation and calm and de-stressing, and that's absolutely fine. But again, you don't need to spend, or we collectively don't need to spend $199 billion a year to relax, do we? If that is the case, our society is really doing something wrong. Now, these four that I've mentioned, the fitness, the nutrition, the beauty and anti-aging, and the complementary and alternative medicine, they are not the only four, obviously, contributors. If anyone is quick at mental maths, they don't all add up to $3.7 trillion. So other things that are included in this are spas, thermal baths, wellness tourism, which if you don't know what that is, it's basically paying a lot of money to go somewhere for not a holiday, but for like a fitness retreat or a yoga retreat or whatever. They're hella expensive, and I mean a waste of a holiday week, in my opinion. But all these types of things add up where, you know, we're spending money on stuff that just is not making us healthier. So I mentioned a few moments ago, remember that nutrition and weight loss statistic. So I'll just give it to you again. So it was $648 billion on the nutrition and weight loss. And like I mentioned, you know, that's not really professional nutrition, okay? Because most people aren't seeking out a professional nutritionist or dietitian for their nutrition advice. So that figure is really about nutrition and weight loss supplements and books that are available on the high street. Now, some stats on that. Okay, right? This is what we're working with. 95% of diets fail. That statistic actually is kind of an average. So some diets have a higher failure rate or a lower success rate, depending on how you want to look at it. So particularly the shake diets tend to have a higher failure rate than that. Some of them up in 98-99% failure rates. Now, failure rate for a diet is that, you know, weight loss is not maintained for a certain amount of time. So a lot of these diets that are contained in that 500 odd billion, a lot of those diets will produce immediate weight loss, but that weight loss is likely to be water weight loss or muscle wastage rather than actual fat loss, which is what most diets promise. They don't work. Next, we've got this one. I think is super important. Half of girls aged 9 to 10 are dieting. So that my diet message is actually starting younger and younger. And in fact, now we have research telling us that girls as young as 3 years of age say that they want to be thinner, or they want to change their body, or they don't like areas of their body like their stomach. That's not okay. This is the world that we're living in. We're absolutely surrounded by dieting. And then the next couple of statistics just drive home why is it bad that we want to change our bodies, and why should we not be perpetuating the notion that we should be dieting. Because 35% of occasional dieters become pathological dieters. So that, what I mean by pathological dieter is that they have a disordered pattern of eating, or they have a disordered relationship with eating. So that could be cutting out a whole food group. It could be not eating out, so you're in really strict control of your food, and that has kind of knock-on effects on your social life and all the rest as well. But then we've also got a quarter of occasional dieters will become eating disorder sufferers. So that's really alarming to me, because research in the UK last year indicated that 70% of the population said that they are on a diet most of the time. So most of the time is higher than occasional, right? So if a quarter of occasional dieters become eating disorder sufferers, then how many most of the time dieters will become eating disorder patients eventually? That's a real concern. And then when we're talking about eating disorders as well, it's important to mention this last one. 40% of newly diagnosed anorexia cases are among girls aged 15 to 19. Again, the age at which we're seeing eating disorders diagnosed is younger and younger, and this is just not okay. And why is it not okay? Because, you know, people always say to me, oh, but you know, what about obesity, and what about the problems that are associated with obesity? Well, guess what? Obesity has not been decreasing since we started war. We always talk about this, the war on obesity. And has this war reaped any benefits for us? Because from what I can tell, no. It has increased, however, the number of people who have body dissatisfaction, the number of people who have a disordered eating pattern, disordered relationship with food, disordered relationship with their body dysmorphia, eating disorders, the age at which girls and increasingly men and boys are becoming dissatisfied with their body and starting the dieting behaviour. And we have all this mounds of research that tells us chronic or long-term dieting is associated with worse health outcomes, and that in fact people who carry some fat tend to live longer lives than people who are in very skinny bodies. So basically, we're spending $3.7 trillion a year for worse health. Wellness, please always remember, is not health. When people are selling you wellness, they're selling you marketing. They're not selling you viable products that will improve your health. And I want you to get angry now. I want you to think about the money that you've spent in the last year, let alone, in a lifetime of dieting, of fitness, of all these things. And just think how much you've spent, and have you got any true benefit from it? Are you healthier than before you did it? Because probably not. So where does the answer lie? Well, I'm hoping to be part of that answer. And if you want to work with me, I am now running my 10-week program. It starts on Monday next week. If you want to get in touch, drop me an email at littleonutrition@gmail.com and I will help you out as much as I can. If you don't want to get involved with working with me necessarily, get on social media, stop buying products, be loud, be vocal, use your consumer vote and buy real products that are worth your money. When you stop spending all this stuff, put it into a savings account and you can take your family on a nice holiday probably. Because that's so much money. So I hope you're angry. I'm angry, but I'm happy. And I hope you are too. Have a great week and I'll talk to you soon.